Hey everyone, this is Shras and welcome back to another video. So today we are going to do a full review of the Pixel 6a. I've been using it for almost 2 weeks, and although a lot of software updates and fixes haven't come for it, I felt it was high time that I review this phone because it's been out for over 2 weeks and a lot of people have been asking around it as well. So I hope this video helps you out as of shooting this video. So now I'm gonna obviously revisit this particular phone after a few of the software updates, and especially after Android 13, which should be next month. So if you want to know about it after this particular update, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on notifications. Now without any further delay, let's check that out. Alright, like any other phone review, let's start with the build and design. Now I feel the design is the most unique in this particular price segment and even overall, because nobody is using this camera bar design. It's exclusively Pixel this time, especially resonates with the design language on the Pixel 6 series as well, the Pro and the regular Pixel 6. The things that I don't really appreciate, although I never realized that it was not glass, the back is actually plastic and tends to scratch according to a lot of reviewers. Now because of that, I have panicked and gotten myself a case. Now if you are interested in this particular case, the link will be down below. Also using a tempered glass, since the front of the screen is using Gorilla Glass 3, which also will be linked down below, so definitely check it out if you're interested. Now the thing about this is that this is glossy plastic. Now if you haven't purchased it yet, I would definitely recommend a lighter color like the sage or the chalk color to hide fingerprints as well as scratches in case you plan to rock it without a skin or a case. The feeling in the hand when you hold it, especially given its size, I think it's really great. They have done a good job of it. The backs are slightly curved, which makes it a bit more ergonomic, and the metal rails just feel really good. And I appreciate that it is a matte black metal rail. On the front, I feel the central hole punch looks nice and it's not really big. The bezels are really chunky. Now I feel the bezel size in terms of width is not a lot more than other phones, but the problem is that since this is a compact phone, it looks more relatively. So if I tell in terms of screen to body ratio, I think this will be lower than most other phones in the segment, which have bigger screen sizes, because of which their screen to body ratio is slightly higher. So that's the only thing. So I feel from the front, especially the chin is a bit too thick. They should have slimmed it down, especially looking at the designs of the Pixel 5 or something. Now the next is the display. Now here it's going to be a bit polarizing. There are two parts to it. Now in terms of the price segment, I think the colors on this and the video quality that you see while consuming content is really good, and the HDR performance especially is really good on this particular phone. I liked it and I was kind of taken aback from it. Now I am coming from the Pixel 4a, which only had HDR 10. This gets HDR 10 plus, and it is seen in Netflix, Prime Video and other OTT platforms as well, which is a great experience because a lot of phones in certain price segments do skip over partnering with some of the OTT platforms and enabling HDR for it, although their panel is capable of it. So in terms of quality of the panel, I don't have a complaint. The only thing that, especially compared to my Pixel 6 Pro, although this is a flagship phone, is the brightness of the panel when in outdoor sunlight. It's viewable, but it's not the brightest panel out there. Now the polarizing part about this display, especially in the Indian market, is going to be the 60 Hz display. Now I'm not going to defend it, okay? 60 Hz I think is outdated. Now the only way it could make sense is a business decision, because since the Pixels are going with the Tensor chip itself even in the A series, it would make differentiating this phone and the regular Pixel 6 very tough for Google. So I guess that was an obvious choice for them to cut down and also justify the price, because the price is mostly going to get hiked up because of that very powerful SoC included. You let me know in the comments down below if you're okay with a 60 Hz display, if it just gets your day-to-day job done, or do you really want a 90 or 120 Hz. Honestly, I am spoiled by 120 Hz displays for a while. It's not bad, it works as expected for a 60 Hz display, but I just don't know, some things looks a bit more choppy or slow because of the 60 Hz display. Anyway, the next thing which enhances your media experience is gonna be the speakers, and here I feel Pixel 6a has a great set of speakers. It gets ample loud, way loud to be honest, especially for its size. It gets really loud. Now the balance between the bottom firing speaker and the earpiece speaker is really good, especially in this price segment. So that's a big thumbs up from my end. What it lacks is obviously going to be in terms of bass and the spatial feeling of it. Definitely there the Pixel 6 Pro feels better, but you know, the speakers overall are a great experience and you're not going to complain about it, especially at this price. Now, the one thing I think the Google Pixel 6a does really good are the haptics. I think no phone in this price category does haptics so good, and I'm really surprised because it's almost matching up to my Pixel 6 Pro, which has really amazing haptics. So yeah, haptics a great thumbs up. By the way, this is 1080p footage from the front facing camera. I don't really need to stretch my arms out a lot to fit myself in. Like if I stretch it out completely, this is how much I can fit in. It's a pity it's only 1080p, but could be a really great vlogging camera if done well. The next thing is going to be about battery and charging. Now here there is again a polarizing opinion. Hear me out about this. Disclaimer, I have only used this phone on 4G because my region does not have 5G, so the battery specs are going to be accordingly. So on 4G, the battery life is exceptional. Like I almost got 8 hours of screen on time on this small phone as well, which is really great. I absolutely love it. That's somewhere I felt even more that a 90Hz display could have been included into this. But yeah, let's just keep that aside. Even though the chip over here is very power hungry, it will easily last you throughout a day according to me. The polarizing part about this is going to be the charging. Now both in terms of wired charging or wireless charging. Coming to the wired charging, it is only 18 watts and the total charging time is very long, but the thing is that it charges up to 80% very quick. So that's something that's about the charging curve being a bit weird on this, because the next 20% takes almost like 40-50 minutes, which is extremely long. So I have the Pixel Stand generation 2, if you can see it there, and it does not work on it. But still, they could have given regular Qi wireless charging and say that it is incompatible with the Pixel Stand. I guess it makes sense that they did not include wireless charging on it because of the dimensions, primarily, is my take on it. Google took a bold step and upgraded the SoC on these A series phones. It is basically a modified Exynos 2100, and that's where, you know, Samsung's fabrication process does not really have a good track record of it, but it does enable a lot of things according to Google, which I will visit in the software section of this particular video. The day-to-day performance is more than enough. What happens when you game or exert or use a long video recording, that time the phone does heat up a bit. It's not overheating in my experience, but then again, I live in a climate which is barely crosses 30 degrees, at least during the usage of this video. The good part is that the gaming was a kind of a drawback on the A series phones, which I think this one does very well comparatively. It's definitely not up with the flagships, but it does really well. Another thing I was curious about, especially given how Apple does things by putting their top tier SoC in their mid-range or budget devices as well, is to test out how much underclocking might be there on this Pixel Tensor, and you can see in the numbers over here. Especially, I'm glad to report that there is no underclocking as such in the Pixel 6a. So I will definitely revisit this phone with Android 13, so make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications for that. But yeah, as of now, there are some things which I feel could be ironed out with software updates as well, and it's not really a lag-free experience because I feel the UI optimization is not the best. Apart from that, the software experience with Material You has been really good, because I personally have been changing my wallpaper at least twice a week, which is surprising because before Pixels I always had dark OLED wallpapers with mostly black and a splash of color. Now the next thing would be the Pixel exclusive features. The Tensor enables most of these, and my favorite would be the voice typing feature. It is really accurate, really good, and I have been enjoying it on my Pixel 6 Pro as well, and I'm so glad it came down to the Pixel 6a. Other things like call screening are kind of region bound, so geolocation will play a big part in it. But yeah, having such a flagship feature in a budget device and almost at half the cost of the premium flagships, it is a really good thing to have. The other thing, in India at least, you can use caption calling. I have covered it in one of the Android 12L or feature drop videos. You can check out over here. I'll make sure to link it. It really helps. It's not as good as call screening or hold for me feature, but it really does the job in terms of bypassing robocalls, etc. The other thing that it enables are a few of the video stabilization modes which are there on the Pixels. It wasn't all there on the Pixel 4a, and that's why I'm glad that it makes it down to the Pixel 6a. But you miss out on the motion feature in the camera app, which I will revisit in the camera section. Apart from that, the offline commands on the Google Assistant are also very useful, which are there on the Pixel 6 Pro. They don't work with other devices. Now, apart from that, you have selecting text from almost anywhere in the UI to pictures coming out from any social media app or somewhere where you can easily share without taking a screenshot or downloading the particular picture. These are really good features to have on the Pixels and I really enjoy it. Few things I've actually gotten used to, so I might not be mentioning it, but if you want to know about Pixel exclusive features, make sure to watch this video as well, because I've covered almost all Pixel exclusive features. New ones I will try to update that video this year and bring it to you all. Now coming to the cameras. Now here I think it's a big win for the Pixel 6a. If you are looking for a relatively cheaper device with a flagship grade camera, this is the device to go for. I know the specs and the sensors kind of put you off, but I'll be bringing very soon a camera comparison between the Pixel 6a and the Pixel 6 Pro, and that will reinforce what I'm telling you right now. Flagship grade camera experience, Pixel 6a. You can see few of the shots over here, how confidently it shoots. Definitely the best HDR performance you can still find on any smartphone camera, no matter what. It does show its age in extreme bright and shadow conditions where you see a lot of noise getting introduced into the shadows, but that's only visible when you zoom in. Also, since I'm coming from the Pixel 4a, I am so glad to see a ultra wide camera being added to the A series as well. So this is 4K 30 FPS from the rear cameras. You can see the stabilization over here. You can switch to the ultra wide. It's pretty gloomy and cloudy today, so that's there. Alright, now going to the front camera. The selfie camera is first of all probably not the best in terms of quality, but it's way more true to life, and the true tone which works over here is really visible. I really appreciate how the skin color representation is mostly natural, and also it does not do random things like skin smoothing or so unless you select it. Not to mention, this is probably again gonna be the cheapest camera from where you can get really great astrophotography shots. If that's your niche, definitely this is the phone to go for. Apart from that, if you're someone who likes a compact Android phone with brilliant cameras and great battery life, this is the phone to go for. It's a no-brainer to me. I know the price is a bit steep in the Indian market. If that bothers you, wait till the Big Billion Day sale. I think it should come down under 40,000 at least, and absolutely for 37, 38,000 I can recommend this phone. The problem is I really cannot recommend the phone with a flawed fingerprint sensor. What happens is a lot of people are having their Pixels unlocked with unregistered fingerprints, and it happened for me also. It did not happen initially, but after I got the June security patch, I started my Pixel unlocking to my index finger, although it is not registered. And this is something which makes me really not so confident about the Pixel. I hope this fixes it, but again, a lot of people are like, okay, Android 13 will fix it. Sure, it might, but this is a retail product. Anybody should be able to go in and buy this, and since they are, such a basic thing should be addressed from day one. If a fix is on the way, Google should at least let them know. And that's where my problem is. I really think this is a major thing that should make you reconsider the Pixel 6a. That's the only thing you should keep in mind, and that's my disclaimer to anyone planning to look for the Pixel 6a. Again, if this gets fixed and Google pushes out an official update and an announcement mentioning the same, I will definitely cover it on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed to it. As of now, I think you should reconsider or hold off a bit if your smartphone purchase is not an issue of urgency. So that's all I want to close with. Hopefully the August batch will probably come in with the Android 13 update itself. It is rumored to be in the first week of September. So that's been it for this particular video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, definitely drop a like. I would really appreciate it. Follow me on my socials over here, and yeah, thank you for watching. I will come back to you with Android 13 videos, a camera comparison between the Pixel 6 Pro and the Pixel 6a, and also some other tech videos in general. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.